Welcome to the Garden Feast. My name's Marie and today I'm going to be doing a fairy garden, an edible fairy garden, in this lovely new pot style that we're going at the moment. We've got the troughs and the round wine barrel lookalikes. So to do a fairy garden edible style, we're going to look at all these lovely little ornaments and edible flowers and lettuces and all sorts of things to create a mini world where the fairies can live. So not only is it practical, it's also edible and it's also very, very pretty. So you can get your kids into it, you can get your grandchildren into it, or you can just be into it yourself. So I'm going to start with the feature. In this particular case, I'm going to use this ginormous tree, which is also doubles as a chili, as our centerpiece of the garden. So I'm just going to tap that out. Now, when we planting new plants, the old way was to tease the roots. We don't do that anymore. You don't need to tease the roots. That just makes the plant go backwards. So we're going to pop this kind of at the back third, so we can do a little bit more in the front. There we go. So there is our mini tree, which is going to shade our little mini garden. Now in my mind, I'm going to have a little arch here and you're going to walk through and there's going to be this garden underneath. So we need some little feature planting. I think as a backdrop, we're going to go with these beautiful mixed lettuce to give us a little bit of height around the back, and then a low growing flower at the front to be at our front gate. And maybe also a little bit of chives to one side, which will give us like a little rush, full rush kind of look, which we can snip off and eat willy-nilly, which is lovely. So let's start with actually what we might do is start with our bones, with our structural things. So I'm going to use some little stepping stones leading up to our tree, because underneath the tree, we're going to pop a little seat, here like this. So that's the feature. So we want to walk straight up to the front gate to our little seat, and I'm going to try and open this. You can cut that out, can't we? So these are just little flat stepping stones which we're going to arrange going to the front. So now we've got a little bit of structure. I know where I can fit my plants once I put my few bits and pieces in. And we also want to go through the front gate. So we'll just have a little play there. Okay, so now I know I've got this amount of space left for plants. Now, I always love a little grassy patch, which we can put something flat growing. And in this case, we're going to use an oregano and keep it flat. Because the oregano in the summer grows up into flower heads. We're just going to keep cutting them off and keeping them flat. And just to cheat a little bit, I'm just going to pull off a few of the roots so I don't have to dig such a big hole. There we go. So there's our little grassy patch. And we're going to do because we know our lettuce is going to get up a bit taller. Gently take out our lettuce. Go. And pop them right on the edge. I want to give them as much space as possible. I'm just going to put a whole stack of mixed lettuces here and here. Now I've changed my mind. I know I was going to put my rush there, but now I'm going to put it at the back. Jeepers. This looks like it's been upside down. I'm going to grab it by the scruff. You can see there's not a lot of roots there, but that's okay as long as we cover them all. So we'll rush. Now I'd like to get some colour in. Now the beautiful thing about violas is they are quite edible. It's actually when you go to the restaurants and cafes, you'll find these are on your plates. A little punnet of edible flowers available through the wholesalers is about $4 for just a few flowers to stick on the plate. So might as well grow your own and get a bit fancy. This particular colour mix I'm using is called Antique. It's got such unusual little flowers, and if you have a little close-up look at their faces, they look like they've got a little face on them. And now we've done most of our planting, we've got a lot of potting mix that I want to cover for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of sphagnum moss as a mulch along the majority of it. So I'm just going to tuck some sphagnum moss here, there and everywhere. And sphagnum moss is a natural product. It holds a lot of moisture, so it's also like a mulch really, but it just looks a little bit better. Just take this off now, put that on later. Makes it a bit more fairy-like. Okay, now we've got our little steppers in place. I'm just going to cover a little bit more of the potting mix with some coloured pebble, just to give us our fairy garden feel. Just might take you out for a tick. And I mean, this is the fun bit when it comes to doing your own little fairy garden. This could be bright orange. I'm going for a more sort of subdued kind of blues and greys. And the absolute funnest bit is putting in all our little ornaments. And that's what makes it individual. So we've got a little seat for our fairy. We've got, because this is a bit of a garden theme rather than a wildlife theme, we're going to have our little watering can over here. And of course, it can't be a fairy garden without a couple of little mushrooms. And mushrooms always look good in odd numbers. So I'm going to have to put a few random, maybe a couple together. One over here. It's looking like a fairy garden now. And I'm not into the super bright Larry fairies, so I'm going to go with something a little bit more antique-y. There's some little chooks running around in the grass. Oh no, it's a duck. Sorry about that, duck. Little chook over here. So now, just for my own little personal touch, I always love the birds in the trees. So I'm going to make a nest out of this coconut fibre. Again, natural, and it won't rot off. And here's a little nest I prepared earlier. We're just going to pop that up in the tree. And my favourite bird, no, that needs a little bit more support. There we go. And my favourite bird of all time is the blue wren. Hence all my blue stones, all for having my little blue wren. There we go. And he's going to have some super hot chilies around him in a minute.